What's up, YouTube and fellow duelists all around the world? Today we're going to go over a deck known as Volcanic Monarchs. It's a deck that incorporates volcanic monsters, volcanic spells, as well as monarchs and other support monsters in the deck. The deck mainly works by summoning monsters and activating effects that give you plus ones. Basically, you'll be summoning monsters, activating effects which really cost nothing because they will replace themselves either by their effect or adding cards from the deck directly to the hand. So first we're going to go over the monsters of the deck, and first we're going to go over actually the monarchs. So here we are. We have 7 monarchs here. We have 2 Kaises. When they summon, they'll remove from play 1 card on the field. If that card happens to be a dark monster, the owner of that dark monster will take 1,000 points of direct damage. Next we have 2 Zaborgs. When it's summoned, it will destroy 1 monster on the field. It's actually my replacement for Ryza. And the only downfall to this card is if it must destroy a monster, meaning if you summon Zaborg and your opponent has no monsters on the field, you'll have to destroy one of yours. Next we have 2 Testalos. When it's summoned, discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. Just a really good monarch card, always has been. Next, and finally, we have Mobius. When it's summoned, destroy 2 spell or trap cards on the field. So those are the monarchs that are used in the deck. Just good effect monarchs. Summon the old-fashioned way by tributing them. Tribute summoning them. Next we have the volcanic aspect of the deck. Actually, the volcanic aspect of the monster zone, monster cards. We have 3 volcanic rockets. Basically what they do is they're 4-star, 1900 attack, which is great. When they're summoned, it will search out 1 Blaze Accelerator from the deck and add it to your hand. So we run 3 copies just to maximize its ability. Good attack. Next we have 3 volcanic shells. If they're on the graveyard, you can pay 500 life points to search out another one from the deck, add it directly to the hand. So just as you can see, both these cards just give you an extra plus. They will add something from the deck to your hand. Something from the deck and add it directly to your hand. Just a good utility. They replace themselves. And also note that Volcanic Shell is 500 attack or less. Pyro Monster, Fire Monster. We will find out why that's useful later. Next we have just some support monsters that are used in the deck. We have Treeborn Frog, just a good monarch card every time. Good card to support monarchs. Next we have Snipe Hunter. Just gives the deck good effect monster that discards cards. Pretty much we can discard Treeborn Frog, these volcanic shells which replace themselves when they're in the graveyard. Just gives you free, those cards actually just give you free discards, and Snipe Hunter will abuse the fact that you have free extra cards in your hand and wreck your opponents. Next we have Sangan, just a good support card. Search any monster card from the deck with 1500 attack or less when it's sent to the graveyard actually, and you can add that card to your hand. Next we have Marshmallow, good sturdy monster, won't be destroyed by battle. Good for monarchs. Spirit Reaper, same effect. Cannot be destroyed by battle. If it attacks opponent's life points directly, it will discard a card. Just a good monarch support card pretty much. Next we have Cyber Dragon. Just always has been a good support monarch card. Gives you extra special summon, 2100 solid attack. Just a good card. Good card. Next we have Gores, the Emissary of Darkness. Always has been one of the craziest monsters in the game. Always good support. It actually can turn out to be pretty bad in this deck because we have so many spell cards, spell and trap cards, and especially a continuous one which you're going to find out about. But definitely can help you in situations where you may need it, where you may need extra monsters or saving. Just a good card all around. Pretty much a staple nowadays for many decks. So that'll do it for the monster portion of the deck. Next we'll move to spells and discuss different strategies. Here we are. We have 2 Blaze Accelerators, the volcanic aspect of the deck, 1 Wildfire. Blaze Accelerators, basically what they do are continuous spell card, are searchable at volcanic rockets. If you summon a rocket, it will add Blaze Accelerator directly from the deck to your hand. The effect is you can discard 1 Pyro Monster with 500 attack or less, and destroy 1 monster on the field. So because we run 3 volcanic shells, they're just good discard fodder for Blaze Accelerator, perfect. And the shells will replace themselves once they're in the graveyard, because you can pay 500 to search another one out from the deck, and just gives another bullet to Blaze Accelerator. Next we have Wildfire, pretty much Dark Hole if you tribute 1 Blaze Accelerator on the field. It's a quick play spell card giving you extra speed. If you activate it, you must tribute send 1 Blaze Accelerator from the field to the graveyard, and it will destroy all monsters on the field, and it will inflict 300 points of direct damage to the opponent, just to give that little extra kick and burn. Wildfire. Next we have Heavy Storm, Mystical Space Typhoon, just your typical spell and trap destruction staples of any deck. Next we have Cold Wave, just a really good utility card nowadays. Will freeze your opponent's spell and trap cards activation for the turn it's activated and the next turn, which is their turn. Just a good play with Monarchs. You can activate Cold Wave, make sure your Monarchs summon properly, then activate their effects, because Cold Wave freezes your opponent's spell and traps. Mobius and Caius can then wreck those spell and trap cards, by destroying them or removing them. Just Cold Wave has been recently a good utility card for many decks. Here we have it, Cold Wave. Next we have Brain Control, obviously one of the staples of any deck that runs Monarchs. Pay 800 life points, steal one of your opponent's monsters, has to be face up though, and you can do whatever you want with it, but it must return by the end phase, so I suggest you either find some way to destroy it or tribute it for a Monarch. Next we have Pot of Avarice, just one of the greatest cards in this deck. It will help you recycle all your volcanic shells, rockets, Monarchs, whatever you need to, then draw 2 cards. Just a good recycling card after you've burnt out the deck using all these effect monsters, spells, traps, whatever. Just fill up. This deck actually fills up the graveyard pretty quickly, so Avarice will be there to assist you. Next we have 3 Fissures and 1 Smashing Ground. My honest advice would be, if you don't know how to use triple Fissures, don't use them. Because Fissures actually a card where you got to be consistent and you got to be conservative when playing it. You can't just activate Fissure anytime your opponent has a monster out. You got to play smart. Just got to be real careful and cautious when you use Fissure. Fissure and Smashing Ground are both just good 1-for-1 monster destruction cards. Good for just destroying a single monster. If that monster happens to be the only one in this field and it's really strong, Fissure will kill it. Just good monster removal. Can work if you do know how to use it properly. 3 Fissures and a Smashing Ground. And finally, for the spell cards, we have 3 Soul Exchanges. Just one of the best tools from any deck that runs Monarchs. How does this sound? Instead of tributing your own monster, you'll tribute your opponent's monster to summon your monster, and then your Monarchs can then get the effects. So basically, activate Soul Exchange, get rid of one of their monsters, summon a monster to wreck them even further. Just great in any deck that uses Monarchs, period. Soul Exchange. Finally, we're going to go over the trap cards of the deck. We have 1 Trap Dust Shoot. Just recently has been a good trap card for many decks. Next, we have 2 Bottomless Trap Holes. Always has been a good trap card, but now you can only have 2, not 3, due to the recent ban list. We have Torrential Tribute, just ultimate trap monster destruction card. And finally, we have Call the Haunted, just a free special summon. Now that Monster Reborn and Premature Burial are banned, Call the Haunted will be there to help us. So, here we go, guys. This is the whole Volcanic Monarch deck. If you want to build this deck, don't copy this deck exactly. Just you can use ideas, because this deck definitely isn't perfect. I don't win all my duels, but does win a good number. It's a consistent deck, fun deck to play. And a pretty easy deck to make, actually, now that we have Gold Series 2, Common Monarchs, Volcanic Shells, and Rockets that are reprinted. Just overall fun deck. The deck incorporates getting constant +1s from Volcanic Rocket. Just add the free spell card from your deck to your hand. Then we have Volcanic Shells, which when are discarded, you can replace them by paying 500 life points. Pretty much that's the deck. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys learned a little bit. Peace.